Hello again, this is the 20th Anniversary Edition LEGO Star Wars Clone Scout Walker, featuring an AT-RT, and it also comes with the 20th Anniversary Edition Classic Darth Vader. For longtime fans of LEGO Star Wars, there will never be a replacement for this original Darth Vader helmet. As squished as it is, as bad as its proportions actually are, it's very memorable. It's how Vader looked in LEGO form for the longest time. They only just recently discontinued that and replaced it with the more accurate one that unfortunately makes him look like he's looking up a bit, but this is really cool to see. And yeah, it's a nice figure, definitely collectible, looks good from all angles. Has this big sign on his back, but fortunately you don't see that most of the time because he's Vader and he has his cape. So I think that works out just fine. And there's the classic face against a gray colored, modern gray colored head. So they don't have the old gray anymore, but just the modern light bluish gray, which I think looks good. Yeah, it's a good figure. Doesn't have the classic chrome lightsaber hilt though, so that's a little bit of a miss relative to the original. And surprisingly, it looks like the old one actually had more crisp printing. The lines were better defined, I feel. Here's the Kashyyyk Trooper who will be riding around on the walker. This looks very good. Lots of detail with the camo printing, including on the helmet. It's very nice to see with the multiple different colors. Yes, this is good quality, good molding, good paint applications. And beneath that helmet is perfectly appropriate angry clone. One Wookiee is included for the droids to attack. This is just a generic, unnamed Wookiee warrior, so potentially a massable character. Cool thing to be able to get. Only one of them in this set, though. Comes with that classic flintlock musket mold there. And no printing around the back. I actually kind of like how this looks with minimal printing on it. Feels a little bit classic in a way, kind of like the old Chewbacca who had no printing whatsoever. And there's no printing on that torso even. Last up in the figure department is the most generic battle droid ever. He just is tan, all tan. No print, no special rank or anything. Comes with a fairly nice looking blaster, and yeah, that's that. Now the walker is, it's kind of huge for what it's supposed to be. It absolutely towers over a standard height minifigure. And that's funny because this is ultimately supposed to be just a personal transport. It's supposed to be ridden like a motorcycle with long legs instead of wheels and tires. Instead, this has more of a stance like an AT-DT, I would say. It's not quite that big, but I feel like it's up in that range. It really should be more like that high. So 2/3 at the most. LEGO did one walker. I think it was in a battle pack that was about the appropriate size for these. And it had a lot less detail. This does definitely look good. I love the color scheme. Just a little bit of the sand green and the dark tan just really ties everything together for that Kashyyyk look really nicely. And there's minimal gapping. What they've done with the legs looks really good on static display. But oh yeah, the blue right there does bug me. That actually could have been replaced with an axle. If you get this, you can just replace that with an axle. Just go straight through. Because ultimately these faux linkages, you can pose them, which is cool. If you want to have one offset from the other, but you could just let them hang. So if that bugs you a lot, it bugs me a lot, you can just replace that with an appropriate length of axle. But play value is surprisingly limited, almost non-existent. You do get this stud shooter right here in the front. That's good. And you can turn this independent of the hull. That's good. But you can't turn it up and down. It only rotates side to side. No up down. What's up with that? So it can't shoot at infantry like that battle droid. What if that battle droid was right here and it's looking up and it's firing at this guy and he can't fire back without the help of your own huge hand coming in and grabbing the thing and angling it down like this, because there's no elevation joint here. Also, at the same time, there's no ability, because of how nicely filled in any gaps around the legs are, there's no ability to rotate the upper hull forward at the legs, at any of the leg joints. There are a bunch of leg joints here, but you can't really use them. All you can use the leg joints for is a single click of movement back. I tried it. There we go. One single click. And that can kind of make it look like it's moving, which is good. You know, it's way better than nothing. It's kind of angled over to the side, but it's not. It looks like it's going to fall over. It's not. Just imagine that it's running and it's in a turn. You know, it's leaning into a turn. That's actually kind of cool, being able to do that. But not being able to do anything else is kind of a drag. So that's not going to work. Let me move the toe. Nope, that's not going to work. Use the toe. Balance it. Nope, still not going to work. So you have that one thing. I guess, yeah, you can angle it. You can angle it back, so you can shoot at things that are much larger than you. That's not going to fall yet. Now it's falling. So I can go back one click. So that's something, you know. Can I do one click at the legs and one click there? Nope. So yeah, just really, really limited in what you can do with this as a toy or even as a display model. You know, it really wants to be like this, and that's about it. All the shaping up here is pretty nice. This was enjoyable to put together, but it is lacking as a toy. Here's another little thing that your huge ATRT will be defenseless against, because this is shorter than the ATRT's cannon. Just another spider droid. This is fine. I appreciate the inclusion of the clear piece there, so put it on the ground. You don't have to worry about fiddling around with the legs to get them all perfect. Just anytime you put this down, you get it nice and flat, push the legs to the ground, and they're all going to be in contact. So that's good. Spring-loaded shooter there, excuse me, stud shooter there, so you can actually fire things off. Not the best looking thing, but easy to modify up a little bit. You know, they kind of give you the platform to put something else on. These legs can be articulated quite a bit, make it look like it's dancing or something, shuffling around. You know, you can use those, you can actually lift it up, so it doesn't have to be on the clear piece in the middle, but that's just really convenient having that clear piece in the middle. So at any time, you can just, oops, not do that, not tear off the legs. You can just push down on the legs and feet, get it onto the ground, and have it in, you know, a roughly stable looking sort of pose. Last up, the Wookiee gets this turret emplacement, which is nice. It's kind of simple. You know, nothing too fancy with the building techniques here. Nothing too fancy with the pieces. These claw or rock-like pieces are nice to get in that quantity in black, but this just works. And you know, you can turn the blaster there side to side a fair amount, actually. And you can also angle this up and down. Sorry about that, Mr. Unnamed Wookiee, but you know, you get some actual play value here, so you can use this. You can even kind of fold it away when it's not in use or something, or you can take that rifle off and use it just by itself. Looking at the volume of stuff in this set and ignoring the special edition figure, I would like to see this sold for $20 to $25 US. Yeah, that feels about right to me. But then when I look at the part count, 250, 20 is just unreasonable. That's too low. That's too difficult of an ask. So 25, all right? And the actual suggested retail price is 30. So it's within the range and not extortionate, especially considering the inclusion of the classic Vader figure, which has the cape, which covers up the ugly sign on the back of it and makes it a viable, usable, good to display figure, you know, just as it is, without any needed modifications. Yeah, so if you can find this for $25, and I think you're going to be in the correct range. I do hope that one day they will come up with a smaller version of an ATRT that looks like it's something close to the size of an ATRT. That would be awesome. And then they can sell an ATRT for less, you know, by making it a smaller thing. But most of the stuff here is fine. You know, I don't think this is a fantastic set. I don't think it's a must-buy set, But if you never got one of these and you really want one, this one's worth holding on to, I think. You know, it's not a classic one. Where do they say it on here? Each set includes an exact replica of an original figure. Well, that's definitely not an exact replica. It's got a couple of color substitutions on it, but you know, that's just wording. I forgive that. But I think it's a fine little collectible figure, and it's a fine set. So that's it for this one. You can check out my build if you want to. I'll link to that on the screen right in front of you right now, and talk to you again soon.